Live from your local news source, this is ABC 27 News at 5:30.
Well, the 34th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA, was Friday. A lot has changed since then.
Think of all the wheelchair ramps, wider doorways, and accessible restrooms we now see, but some say we've lost ground in other areas because of how much we all depend on digital devices. Here's Seth Kaplan.
I help pass out the brochures of the maps and where everything is.
Preston Gaylor last week at the York State Fair.
Thank you.
Maps Preston himself can't read.
I was born legally blind.
Which is not to say Preston doesn't read.
I'm an avid Braille reader. It's a series of dots that represents different letters and numbers, and you make those dots into whatever you're trying to word out.
But what about other things all of us, including Preston, want to do?
Let's say if you're buying tickets to a concert or a festival or what have you.
Preston's phone helps.
I can navigate around the screen and it'll read me what I'm doing.
Week of July 22nd, 2024, MP3.
But he says that can only go so far if the underlying websites and apps aren't built from the start to be accessible.
We got an unlabeled button. We got to make sure this gets labeled for the average blind person.
The Americans with Disabilities Act requires digital accessibility, but Preston is lobbying for this new legislation to specify what that really means. Mark Pound of a company called CurbCutOS says there's a side benefit to improving accessibility.
Digital accessibility isn't just applicable to people with disabilities, it's applicable to people without disabilities.
Past examples?
Closed captioning is one.
Designed for the hearing impaired, but now we can all follow the dialogue on multiple TVs in a crowded bar. Or in the non-digital world?
When they first made those curb cuts, that was for people with wheelchairs. Fast forward, all these years later, now more people use those curb cuts than people with disabilities.
To wheel our luggage, for example.
It's not just a compliance checkbox for legal. There is a massive market opportunity and a cross-market appeal for this.
A lot of apps have gotten better thanks to the feedback from the disabled consumers that we send to developers.
In York County, Seth Kaplan, ABC 27 News.